Okay, so today's live, we are continuing. We're on episode 4 of our confidence series. And today we're talking about detachment, healthy detachment. We're talking about being secure in your decisions. Um, just like going off of the topics that we already had and just going deeper and just taking like different directions with the topic as well. Because confidence is like multifaceted and there's so many topics and directions you can go with it. So I think like we can start with just talking about how being decisive in your decisions and like how that portrays confidence. And how
Okay.
do you feel, Greta, about like decisiveness, indecisiveness, like and being secure in the decisions that you make in life and how that reflects with confidence?
I think it protects our energy when we're decisive because you're saying this is the way that I think, and you're letting the other people know how you think. And being decisive, it really holds no room for question yourself. You know?
Mm,
Yeah. So I think it protects your energy in a way. So I find it very healthy and very fulfilling for a woman to be decisive, which is not always is the case for a woman to be decisive.
mm-hmm.
So I think to get to that place, you have to get to know yourself and get to know what your values are, get to know what you like, what you don't like. And it's hard for a woman if a woman, let's put an example. If a woman has been a people pleaser, she often doesn't know what she likes and what she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like. She
Yeah.
often just goes to the end of the day feeling resentful, not
Mm-hmm.
knowing what really is going on. So
Yes, I love this topic. I can talk about this all day, so I'm super excited to talk about this today.
yeah.
Like, look, what you just said, like being decisive, it's fulfilling. Because even if you do make the wrong decision, the fact that you made a decision and then you can either like grow from it or you either succeed from it or you grow from it. There's no really losing.
Mhm.
So the fact that you just decided to do something and you weren't like indecisiveness doesn't serve you at all anyways. So
Mhm.
the fact that you're gonna feel like what you mentioned, like feeling fulfilled afterwards, I feel like that's so like helpful because it's gonna make you feel more. That's gonna translate to more confidence. Oh, someone said you both look stunning. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And
Thank you.
then thank you guys for making me feel so much better. I'm glad that we're making you feel better.
Yeah, we're so happy to hear that.
Hello. I'm from Toronto. Someone's saying what city are you from?
I'm from Florida, originally from
Love
Peru.
Florida.
And I think there's someone, like one of a few of my followers here.
Oh,
Cool.
nice.
Cool. I just posted it on Instagram. But anyway, I don't really know how this falls with men though. If
The
I don't think,
decisiveness.
yeah, I don't think men have an issue being decisive. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like almost like normal for them.
Mm-hmm. And what you said with like, um, what did you say about? You said
Oh,
like 2 seconds ago about the decisiveness.
being fulfilled.
No, there was something else, and I was just gonna go. I don't know. I always lose my train of thought.
It's okay. We'll come back.
But with being decisive, you're making decision for yourself, and then the people pleasing. So like you're not doing it for others, you're doing it for yourself. And then like that is not as that's a foreign concept for women. I feel like it's a foreign concept to like just choose something that's directly supposed to be for yourself because I feel like we're just our entire lives are like please others. Like you basically like it's like we're brought up to like live for others and to like please others. So that's where like the definitely like what you said where um
100%.
yeah.
Yes, 100%. Because I know where you're coming from, and I don't think people realize how deep embodied we are in this. Like, oh, we should follow. Let's just go with the flow. But then at the same time, we've been raised to follow this routine, that being disciplined, so we don't really know which is the right balance. Like,
Yeah.
what is the healthy, like, what the reason of this video, like, what is the perfect balance, and how can we notice what we're doing to integrate this healthy feminine way,
Yeah.
just to word it
Because
in a
I
way.
even think we touched on this one time, like I think it was like 2 lives ago, where like
Yeah.
it's like you're such in the people pleasing mindset, and then you kind of go to the other side where it's like, okay, I'm gonna only live for myself and like use manipulation tactics and trying to like it's like you went from one extreme to the next, and then there's like we forget there's like a healthy balance of both. Because like it's even when you're in a relationship with someone, you'll be with like one person that's like so like this, and then you get so sick of that. Like if you break up, you have a bad relationship, you want to go with someone that's completely the opposite, and then you realize, okay, this is too opposite, and then you need to like the balance. So it's the same thing with like the people pleasing. Like if you're way too much in this direction, there's almost like a time where you're gonna be so much in the other direction,
Mhm.
and then you're gonna realize that's also toxic. Like to just like manipulate and like kind of like learn all like there's like a whole realm of like this dark feminine, but they have the dark feminine all mixed up, and it's all about manipulation, and it just becomes toxic because it's again it's also people pleasing, because if you're living your life to like manipulate and to like get everyone like obsessed with you, then then you're also
Yeah.
like that's also the people pleasing, but just in a different light.
Yeah, I when I first started YouTube, I remember doing YouTubes on like how to make a man obsessed with you, and then I get up on the YouTube and say like, if you want to make a man obsessed with you, you're just unconscious.
Yeah.
you, like, you have to detach from you wanting to make the guy obsessed with you, and then it'll work.
Hmm.
um yeah. It was really, in the beginning, I was just like kind of deceiving women, but at the end of the day, if they stood for the entire video, it was a very fulfilling advice, very like nourishing, maybe triggered you at the beginning, but then at the end of
Hmm.
the day, I think people got, you know the story
I
of what
love that
I
idea.
was doing. Yeah.
Like the fact that they didn't know what they're clicking. It's like you're capturing the audience that needs to hear it the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Oof.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that we've helped this viewer. Like she says, I'm more confident because of you too. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Film Footy Central.
But essential. Yeah. And this even like viewer kind of segmenting into like the detachment, like healthy detachment. People get so attached to like outcomes, and like there's even like this trend of like decentering men. Like everyone's talking about like decentering men and decentering pleasing people. Like just when you get out of that mindset, and it's like it's more just about like you and living your healthy life and not about like pleasing everyone, things just fall into place, and like you don't have to force things. If you're forcing it, it's not meant for you. So
What is decentering men? I didn't hear of that.
decentering, it's kind of like a lot of people, there's people that are like center around men, like they dress for men, they appear for men, like they're like
Okay.
everything is about like men. So like they're like there's a lot of people talking about how like their friend is like centers men, and like there's people saying like maturing is realizing that like you have to like decenter men, and like
Yeah.
and
Okay.
then and then people are also saying like maturing is also realizing you have to be patient with your friends that are still centering men. So there's like a balance between people pleasing and then like living for yourself, and that's where I feel like the journey is with confidence and being secure in your decisions, and then healthy and exploring healthy detachment, because detachment is not like putting up a bunch of blocks and walls
No.
and saying like I can't have any feelings, and I'm not going to share myself, or my like I'm not going to open up my feelings, or like get feelings for someone, or even like situations or jobs, like just feeling like so detached, like that's like an unhealthy detachment,
Yeah.
and you're like kind of avoidant attachment style almost. So that's not what I mean. It's more like healthy detachment where you know that like if something's meant for you, you don't have to force it. And
It'll happen.
detaching yourself, yeah, like it'll happen and you just need to do what you need to do, like be the person that you want to be to attract the things that you want. And then like let the rest kind of like let the rest go. Like it's out of your control. The rest of it is kind of out of your control.
So, are you religious
I'm
or
Christian.
spiritual? Okay. So, how would you say? Because, um, I mean, just so we can explain it, how do you detach? Personally, I would just say that I give my desire to my divine, to my higher power. Like that's one of the ways that you can do it. How would you do it?
That's the same. That's the same with me. Like it's just like you just give it to God. Like you just kind of just like make it known that you want a certain thing. And then it's kind of just like praying or like writing it down and then just letting it go. Like you're not forcing it constantly. And then that's exhausting you and draining you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that because I mean, yeah, that's one of the things that you have to do, but there's also so much more because you also like if you are wanting one desire and it's not coming up, it's maybe because you have to take something into consideration. Maybe you haven't followed the law of correspondence and you're not showing up doing the work. Like, there's just so many layers between
Mhm.
what you have to do and what is happening.
Mhm.
So I love what you said, that you also give it to someone else or give it to the
Mhm.
higher power to just
Yeah.
like, release this control or this result mechanism that we've been wired to have.
Yeah. I love that.
Hmm. Yeah.
The that like goes into I always think of what I'm gonna say and then I like what was I gonna say? I
It's
really am
okay.
so relaxed. Um just give me
Uh,
one. Well,
but
you're yeah, the multiple stages. So like it's not just like even if you say like you want something, like you want to attract something and then you like give it to God and then that thing is not working out for you. It's not coming. It's not just because it's like, oh, like it could be there's multiple reasons. Like you said, there's things that you need to do that like more things you need to do. Maybe it's not for your highest good. Maybe it's not for the highest good of all. Like you don't know. Like the only thing you can do is just like keep trying and have that solitude space where like you can kind of get the downloads or like receive messages and like figure
I
things
love
out. Like
that.
things will come to you and then like you're gonna realize if there's a redirection.
100%. Oof, 100%. And especially since I've been a controlling woman in the past, I think learning how to let go or detach has been one of my biggest struggles. So when you said that you want to talk about that, I was like, okay, like I
No, I
might
love
be
talking about
not ready.
and this is such a good topic too because I'm so like I've been struggling with indecisiveness. I'm like a very indecisive person. Like you can ask me like, do you want this fruit or this fruit? And I'm just like
Really?
yeah, like I'm pretty indecisive. So I think that talking and forcing yourself like to talk about a topic that you struggle with yourself is
Yeah.
really helpful. So
Oof,
like
100%.
mine's this indecisiveness, which
Yeah.
I sometimes like you just gotta force yourself to make a decision. But I'm always worried, is this the wrong decision to make?
Yeah.
How do you navigate like do you if you're gonna make the wrong decision?
Um, I actually I wouldn't say I'm decisive. I wouldn't say I'm not decisive. However, my boyfriend would say that I'm undecisive because I don't like. He would mention a restaurant that he would want to go, and I'm like, oh, I don't want that. And then he's like, then what do you want? He gives me more options, and I'm just like, I don't want that. So I don't really give him an answer. I just kind of negate everything that he offers. So I wouldn't say that I'm undecisive. However, it's if it's something that I don't have to make a decision, I don't want to make that decision. Does that make sense? Like,
Like you're
like
getting decision fatigue.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't think I know what I like, what I don't like, what I would prefer, you know, those
Yeah.
types of things. But I don't really like, I don't really pay attention or put too much thought into that, I guess.
Decision this is literally like why people choose to have like a more simplistic and essentialist lifestyle, because decision fatigue is a real thing. Like it will exhaust you. Like if you wake up in
Yeah,
the morning and you're trying to decide like what exact like outfit to wear,
yeah.
what like
I mean,
and
I
you have
love
like
that.
no meal plan in mind. You have to like decide what meal you're making. Everything's like from scratch. Like everything is,
Yeah,
there's no like set routine. Sometimes that's where like the draining comes, like the decision fatigue comes in. And then it's only the morning and you're
you're
only
tired.
a couple of hours into your morning and you're already having the decision fatigue. And
Yeah.
then now when you need to make actual decisions for like your health or your career or like the
Hmm.
goals that you have, then you're tired, like you're already exhausted and drained from that. So that's why you want to make like sometimes it depends on your lifestyle and how
Accountability.
decision fatigue that you get. But I would say like that's why I lean towards like more minimalistic or essentialist living so that
Yeah,
it's simpler. Like I kind of have like a set wardrobe of like what I'm gonna wear the next day. And then like my meals, I kind of keep it more simple. Even though it's like obviously it's super nice to like not have a routine, relax and like choose like
oh, I love
intuitively
having a
choose.
routine. I love,
Yeah.
like, I don't like thinking what I have to eat. For example, I meal prep every 2 days. But yeah, no, just like you said, it's a real thing, decision fatigue. So
Yeah.
if I'm doing a hard thing, just like we talked in a couple of lives, I don't know, I'm not sure if it was the last life that we had, um, to make and do those hard um, things that we need to do first thing in the
Yeah.
morning. I think it's the best. Yeah. So I'm not really
Yeah.
sure what are you referring to in indecisiveness then?
Indecisiveness, I would say,
On like taking action, or like on work, on like what area exactly, or like two, like are you in between two guys that you don't like, or that's not the
no,
case?
no, that's not what I mean. It's more like indecisiveness could be the smallest tiny thing. Like it's like, do I take like literally someone like I went out with my friend and then
Yeah,
someone was like, "Do you want to take a photo?" And I was just like, I was thinking like, "Should we take a photo here?" I was like, "Oh, do we need to?" Like I'm thinking, I'm going through all like the process. It can be the
yeah,
simplest thing. It's not major things. Like I know like with my videos or content creation, I just make it. I
do
just
it.
like cut, edit, post. Like that's not really like I'm not like should I post this? Like it's not that. It's like
Yeah,
the small tiny things, and then that gives me like decision fatigue. Like it can be like, what do I wear?
yeah,
Like I want to have that like that will exhaust me because I'm thinking like if I'm going out somewhere and I'm thinking like what should I be wearing for this? And I'm like,
yeah,
why am I letting this like drain me?
yeah.
Because I'm trying to plan like, okay, but I might be walking for a while and then like how do I match from my shoes and like
Hmm.
thing and like
Hmm.
did I already wear this? Is it like fully clean? Like I'm just thinking too many things.
Yeah,
And I'm like, okay, this is not serving me. It's just like too much. So that's why I personally like simple, like simple, simple, simple. And like
yeah.
I've always been like super drawn to minimalist living.
I
How do you
love
feel
that.
about minimalist? Have you ever had like a phase of minimalism?
Um, I think what do you mean by that?
Minimal, like when people like get rid of all their stuff and like have like a super simple, like minimalism is when you like basically have very little items. Essentialist is when you have just like you have things that you love and it doesn't have to be like a minimal amount. Like there's like the minimalists.
Yeah,
There's these two guys that like have like three t-shirts to choose from
that's
and their entire,
crazy.
yeah, like it's super super simplistic and some people take it to the extreme and they just have like the bare minimum, like one pair of shoes or two pairs of shoes and like if you search it up on YouTube, like, there's a bunch of videos.
I mean, I
But
hear you. Yeah, but I don't know. Um, I wouldn't consider, like, if it's only five shirts or five shoes, five sneakers. I think I own more than that.
oh,
But I
yeah, for
do,
sure.
yeah. But I love putting my stuff to use. Like, I wouldn't just have that. If I haven't worn it in the past year, I would throw it out or donate it, or repurpose it into doing something else. So into, yeah. So I love the minimalistic idea. If you come into my house, like it's pretty. There's not a lot of stuff, and I love that because it's easy to clean, and also I think it's just you have more room for your energy to flow. So that's how I see it.
Yeah.
I love
You
that.
know what? That also reminds me of the idea that you have to get rid of the old to make room for the new.
Yes, 100%.
I don't
Like
know. Have you ever watched Steve Harvey, the
yes,
guy
yes,
from the game show?
yeah.
And he had this like motivational video, and I think he has a bunch of motivational videos, but one of them was saying like I think it was like a quote that he heard from his like family member or mother or something, and it was like there was like an old car in the garage, and like but he was like wanting a new car, and then they were like telling him like you can't want a new car and like expect a new car, attract a new car if you still have the old one in the garage. Like you haven't made the space for the new one. Get rid of the old, make
Yeah,
the space for the new one.
I love that. It makes sense.
It's the same thing with like if you have a business and you want more clients, but you have no time in the day. You haven't carved out time. Like I was working a job that was like almost like it was part-time to full-time. And then like I'm wondering why I'm not doing as much, like, on my own business, but it's because I wasn't making the time, like, I already had something out like, my attention was
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Hmm.
So, when you get rid of that and that, like then now you're making space for the new, like, you have more time. Now you're gonna actually, like, bring more clients in or more more stuff going on with the thing that you wanna actually align with because you've made the room, you've taken out the things that are distractions.
I completely agree with what you're saying because you can't add more stuff into your life when there's so much trash or things you don't use. So
Mhm,
it completely makes sense. Yeah.
mhm. And same thing with mental clutter. Like, just like there's certain thoughts and rumination patterns that people have, and it's just not serving them. It's definitely hard to throw it out. Like it's not like a physical piece of trash you can just throw out. Like the thought may come back,
Yeah.
but the more that you can shift and get out of that mindset and let it pass, the more you can make room for new thoughts and new like mindsets.
Do you journal?
Yeah, I love journaling.
Yeah, same. I think that's very it helps a lot for women.
What's your journaling routine? Like, how do you do it?
At night, sometimes in the morning, but yeah, at night mostly.
I do like I'll do it like usually mine's like okay, sometimes it's throughout the day or at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think that I prefer the night like you said. And then I'll just kind of like journal like things that went well and like my wins of the day. That's what I personally have like I'm doing lately. Some like definitely in the past I've journaled all the negatives and whatever like gotten all that out,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, I have a
um
lot of thoughts, so I just write them all down and kind of get rid of them.
like a
Otherwise,
brain
they're
dump.
almost hanging out there.
It's almost like brain dumping onto the paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
That's
I,
why I always suggest that for clients that have trouble sleeping. Just make sure like you get everything out of your brain onto that paper so that when you're laying in bed, there's nothing going through your mind. The worst thing, I'll have to get out of bed myself if I'm sitting laying in bed, I can't fall asleep, and I'm thinking like, oh, tomorrow I have to do this, tomorrow I have to do
yeah,
this. Like as long as you write it down, okay, I don't have to think about this. It's already on the paper.
exactly.
So if I forget, it's always about like, if I forget, I don't want to forget. So write it down. Once it's written down, plan your day the day before.
I love it. Sometimes I go like a couple of days without journaling and I'll feel it. Like it's just
Hmm.
all over. So I think journaling is like a very helpful technique to
Hmm.
introduce to your daily life.
And I feel like people have the wrong idea and they're like they think it has to be a certain way, but it can be any way. Like you can
No.
start somewhere or just write a sentence. As
Yeah.
long as you write something down and then it clears out of your mind. You're gonna see slowly but surely that it's gonna start clearing from your mind and your mind's gonna get a lot more present. And you're gonna feel a lot more awake like the awareness is gonna be a lot more there. You're gonna be paying attention to things. And
Yeah.
now that you like say when I write my wins for the day, this now motivates me to keep doing more things for myself and so I can write more the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, if I write like, okay, I ate good today, did a workout, journal, like, and then like I want to kind of write the exact same thing tomorrow. Like I don't want to say like, okay, I didn't do anything today. So like it'll motivate me to keep that positivity going. And then the more that you are like paying attention and keeping your awareness on the good things that you've done, the more that you're going to keep looking out for good things that you could do. And the more things you're going to be like grateful for or happy that you did, like the wins of the day, like just focusing your attention on the wins instead of like,
Yeah.
oh, this went wrong, this went wrong.
I love that. I love that. I used to have a. Oh, I have it right here. It's a grateful. What do you call it? The
Oh, the
gratitude journal.
5 minute gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. So, but when I journal, I have another journal like for mind dump.
Yeah.
And I love what you said. I don't really focus on my wins, so I should do that. I'm gonna add it to my daily routine.
I think that one is it in the 5 minute journal, the
Yeah,
wins.
but it's just like I it's just words
Yeah.
basically that you don't I don't really write or journal on here because it's
Yeah.
just 1 page per day. It's not
Yeah, I
enough.
gotcha. Yeah. How many
Yeah.
pages do you usually do per day?
I mean, it depends. Sometimes I have a lot to say, sometimes I don't. So
Uh-huh.
really depends.
Yeah, I love that. I really love like I haven't been like a super like multiple page type of journaling person. I feel like I get too like tense and my hand will like start getting really tense. I don't know if you
And-
get that, but like my hand is like squeezing the pen so hard.
yeah,
Like, I'm like, okay, relax.
yeah. I feel like when there's multiple pages, it's because I haven't journaled in a quite while.
No, but
Yeah.
that's so good. Like the more you can get out, the better. And it's like the clarity that you get from that is so good. So I love that you do that.
Same. You too.
Mm,
I mean, I just learned a good technique for my journaling thing.
mm,
So thank you for that.
yeah, of course. So what do you feel you how have you overcome the struggles of detachment? I remember
Oh
you
yeah,
were
I was
saying,
gonna go into that. Yeah.
yeah.
Um. So as a woman that is kind of controlling or I've learned to detach or let go by stop putting too much thought into what I'm doing. I mean, not putting too much thought. I think, let me gather my thoughts.
Yeah,
um,
yeah, take a second.
I think we need to have a system, right, in place. For example, I have a desire and I know this is the right way that's gonna work. And if that's not working, I think detaching from the result, that has made my biggest shift into actually embodying. Because when you start noticing that you are controlling, the controlling woman doesn't know that she's controlling. Does that make sense?
So
Because
yeah, like sometimes someone will tell you like, oh, you're controlling, and then
yeah,
you're like,
and you're like, no.
yeah, yeah,
so so I think noticing that I was trying to, I don't know, get a result in a certain way and noticing my patterns. But let me be more clear so we can understand each other better. I think noticing me being controlling, but also embodying that detachment. And that detachment is almost a reminder every day to do the embodiment. So what does that mean? So for example, I would get this rush of realization every time I had a realization. I was almost addicted to self care, to growth, to everything that we're talking about. I was addicted to having these realizations because I was awakening. But it was this false sense. It was all of this knowledge without integration. It's almost everything that I've been talking about in my YouTube last the past year, but embodying and actually taking that time, because when you embody something, you don't have to really explain it because it's part of your being. So And how do you embody? It's just actually taking the time to be in stillness and being okay with that stillness that is working out for you. And it
Mm-hmm.
is so uncomfortable because if you are a controlling woman or a controlling man, you know all the right ways that you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get that result. That woman, that girl, that I don't know, the $25,000 monthly. It depends on who you are and what you want, but embodying this has made me like very fulfilled at the end of the day, but it's taken time for me at least. Some people just get it in 1 second, but for others it's not in 1 second. So
Mm-hmm.
I
It
think
re- it reminds me of when you meditate and then all the thoughts come in, and
yeah.
you're constantly having to be like, okay, reassure this thought, reassure this thought. Like
Mhm.
what you're saying, like just being in that stillness. Like I have also struggled with like controlling like needing to control everything. And that usually comes from like knowing that you had lack of control in your childhood. So
Mhm.
feeling like you had no control in your childhood, you want to overdo it in the other direction now, like control everything. And if you feel that sense of like you're losing control again, then it kind of like brings you all the way back, and it's like a whole trigger. So I feel like I definitely struggle with that. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
but
I
yeah.
had this, now that you mention that, it brings you back to that first unsafe space where you were as a child. I was in tears the other day without knowing why, and it's because I've been doing all of this work but actually not releasing, maybe, that I was safe in the place that I was
Hmm.
here at home. Like, you didn't really notice how much your past is conditioning you.
Yeah. No, it's
So,
every day. It's like it's a constant like it's a constant realization work, and then constantly integrating, embodying, and then like more realization, more like trauma will come up, more triggers, and then like embodying again, like
releasing. Oof.
mhm. It's like living in a state of meditation. You're
Yeah.
meditating, thoughts come up, it's like back to the breath. Meditating, thoughts come up again, back to the breath. It's like that is the constant cycle, and that's like you're telling yourself, "I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay." Like you're self-soothing, you're self taking care of yourself,
Hmm.
almost self like love and self-parenting,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
It's
is
so
like
fulfilling.
mhm. And it's super hard in the beginning, like super hard.
Yeah.
When the thoughts come up, it's like the thoughts come up, and you're like self-doubt,
Hmm.
like all the insecurities will come up, and then because you're in so much resistance.
Hmm.
And I think like we can definitely speak on resistance for a
A
lot.
while.
Yeah, a while.
Yeah. What would you say it would be your thing for detachment?
Like the thing that I'm most I have struggled with detaching from.
Hmm.
Let me think.
Because I don't think it's control, or is it?
No, I think it. No, definitely.
Or
I
overgiving,
um
or
I think sometimes it's codependence, and sometimes it is the detachment and the control. Like I mean the control. Like I feel like if I feel the sense of losing control,
Mhm.
it's overwhelming, and I don't know how to just like detach from that. Like I don't know how to like that's the part that's definitely difficult, and I've had the most struggles with. And it's been a journey. Like it's definitely been a journey. I'm now I feel like a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. I think it's almost hard to explain what you're going through when you're in the middle of it.
What do you feel like you've had the most like problems with detachment? Do you feel like it's control as well?
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Mhm.
But not I thought that I had everything under control. Like, I thought that everything was going perfect in my relationship. But when I noticed in some areas in my life that I didn't have what I wanted, yeah, it was hard to detach. But then once you notice, once you know what to do in this type of things, what you're missing and what your desire is, you kind of see and catch the pattern super easy. I think you being a coach, I think in the beginning it's like very hard to notice. Like, I see all my life in different categories. So love life, friendships, business, money, family, and me. So what do I need and which area am I lacking? That's how I
Mm-hmm.
see my life. And then when you're a coach, I think you can separate yourself from what is going on in your life and what you are doing, and then seeing your patterns. I think uh, in the course that I did, it helps a lot how to identify patterns and what your blocks are. And I think for you, it's the same thing. I think you've created something similar, no?
Yeah, like figuring out what your blocks are and being aware. Like the awareness, I feel like is so important.
Yeah,
Obviously, like being aware of what specific, like, what is your motive for wanting to control everything? Like once you kind of
safety for sure.
unpack
Safety.
that
Me, safety.
safety, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, like, you don't realize how deeply ingrained it is in your entire being. But once you, let me tell you my example. I started crying. I mean, I just told you. I started crying out of nowhere, but I didn't know why. But it was because I was working on this for a while.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And what do you feel like triggered that?
I was gonna say the energies, the planets, but I think just the inner work that I've been doing. Because, yeah, the planets may help you with that certain thing that you want. However, if you're not doing the inner work, the embodiment practices, if you don't have the awareness or the consciousness, you're going to continue being asleep. So I think it depends on the person.
Hmm.
So for me, it was everything that I was doing. It triggered that emotional side of me that I almost don't have. I say I'm aware that I don't show myself as emotional, but I think deep down I'm still learning how to show myself, how
Do
to
you feel
show up as emotional. As,
do you feel like you have a hard time showing your emotions?
I don't I don't think that's the right way to word it, because I think I separate my emotions from my actions.
Hmm.
So I think I don't notice.
Yeah, I
Does
hear
that
you.
make sense? So, like, if I'm doing something and it triggered me, I might hide it, even from myself too. Does that
Hmm.
make sense?
Yeah.
So when my period comes, I'll notice it, and I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, I didn't know that that even was there. So I don't know. I think that also the working with your cycle is very helpful. What
I
do
feel
you?
like with you, it was you just had like the breakdown was ended up being the breakthrough,
Yes.
which always happens. It's like
Mhm.
whenever you start crying about something and you get triggered over something, it's an opportunity for you to have a breakthrough. Like your
Mhm.
breakdowns are always an opportunity to have a breakthrough.
I love that. Yeah, and it's been like that.
I'm always having breakdowns, like because emotions are meant to be felt. The
Hmm.
more you hold things and the more that you just like people please and just
Oof.
pretend that none of them happen, the more that you're just harboring things. And then there was like a study that done, and I swear the results were something that the people that get cancer the most are the people that like are people pleasers, like the people pleasers that hold their emotions in the most. So the most like best self-loving practice you can do for yourself is like when you feel that you need to express your emotions, express them. Obviously don't blow up on people, but if you have your time to like time to yourself, have like up here, that's literally journaling is like what we're like that's your time to express your emotions and to process them, because you're
Yeah.
going to write them like you before you start your journaling, and then after you just finished 20-30 minutes of journaling, you have an entirely shifted perspective of what your day was like.
Oof.
Because
Yes.
maybe before you were like, okay, it was an okay day. Then you're writing things out. You're like, okay, I processed this. This happened. Okay, this didn't really go as
Mhm.
I wanted it to. but
Mhm.
I feel like I learned from that, and I grew from this, and this good thing happened, and this good thing happened. Now you can, like, step back and see something from,
Mhm.
like, a fly on the wall, because now
Yeah.
you're writing it out later on
The observer's
when
effect. Yeah.
yeah.
Oof, I love that. So I was actually, I'm going to share this, um, having this realization yesterday in the morning, and it was about me not knowing how to, or maybe me not knowing is not the right way to put it, but I haven't had very conscious friendships. And now, to put it in perspective, I can clearly see why I wasn't aligned with those conscious relationships, with those conscious friendships. And it was because I wasn't vibrating at the same vibration that they were at. And I can clearly see how my gut, my intuition was telling me that there was something wrong in the relationship, but I couldn't really explain it because it was untangible. It was something that I couldn't explain. I didn't know exactly how to explain it to other people. I would be like, "There's something wrong with her," but then they'll be like, "Oh, but what?" And
Yeah,
this energy, you can't really explain it other than there's something wrong with her,
yeah,
or
and
her
and
their
and it's like,
motives.
even if it's not you're not able to, like, put it into words, it's still 100% valid,
Yeah.
because your body
So
will have the right reaction. Like, if you're having that reaction, you're meant to have that reaction, you're meant to learn from that.
so I had this oh my god, this huge realization, this huge epiphany yesterday that I was picking the wrong, maybe not picking, but they were right there just to show me a mirror. Like, I would see my power through them. They were almost telling me what I wanted to hear, or maybe they were. I saw envy, I saw comparison, I saw all the things that I talk about, and then I was just like, wait, let me like take a step back. Why? I've never questioned my friendships the way that I questioned them yesterday, and it was mind blowing. It was very uh I wouldn't say hard, but different perspective from what I've known to be
Yeah.
true until today.
No, sometimes it is really hard. Like, sometimes you'll have a realization, you're like, "Oh, like,
Hmm.
that's why this person did that," or
Yeah.
maybe this isn't what I thought it was.
Hmm.
And those, for me personally, like, I definitely find those hard, because it's almost like you're in a relationship, like a friendship that you are picturing to be one way, but they don't see it that way.
Yeah.
Or they,
Oof.
like the jealousy, or when you start to realize, like, is there underlying jealousy? Like, I didn't know this was happening. So it's kind of like, it's like such a letdown sometimes, and it feels so, almost like a
Unmet.
heartbreak.
Yeah, like your trust, like a relationship that's supposed to be so trusting, you're supposed to feel so safe, so nurtured, or so, maybe not nurtured, but safe.
Mhm.
It's almost like a betrayal, and
Mhm.
I saw that yesterday. So it was very eye-opening, but very good because I noticed and I know what not to repeat, you know.
Mhm.
So I think that was my big takeaway.
Where do you think, I didn't even think to go here with this topic, but where
Yeah.
do you think detachment can fit into, like, healthy detachment can fit into this
Friendships.
topic with, like, friendships, and, like, just, like, female friendships in general, with, like, the toxicity and sometimes we undermine ourselves to make our friends feel better. And sometimes I found that in the past, like, I feel like I can't talk about the best, like, things that are
Yeah.
good things that are going for me, because I feel like I'm gonna, like, make everyone, like, I'm out, like,
Uncomfortable.
trying to outshine everyone, but
Yeah.
I'm not trying to outshine anyone, I'm just
Yeah.
talking. But then you'll find, like, if you talk to, like, a guy friend, or just, like, a male in general, they don't make the same comments that, like, a woman would. And then you're like, "Oh, is this comment, this is not a normal comment to make," or, like, because men are not, like, competing with women.
Yeah. No.
So when you hear, like, their perspective on a story, or, like, a situation, or what the female friend has said, you it's like it's kind of
Yeah,
like eye-opening. I don't know if you can relate.
I hear you. I hear you. I think I can share what my experience has been, and how I can put it in perspective with the detachment. What would healthy detachment look like? Um, I've I've never let any other women undermine what I do. If they told me I was wrong, or if they told me that I was doing things incorrectly, I've never been in that situation where I felt taken advantage of, because I noticed, just like I told you, like my gut feeling, my intuition is very strong. Like I can sense your neediness, or I can sense um the person's intention from like a mile away.
Mhm.
So I've been very true to myself. Like let me give you an example. So have you ever been with a friendship? I've had before friendships where a friend calls me up and she tells me, "Hey, why didn't you call me? Why did you go out with this girl? I don't like this girl. Why are you her friend?" And to my very, very, very bestest friends, I would be like, "Okay, I don't have to be her friend. I don't care. I met her through you, so I'll just leave the other girl and be your friend." Because I would always put, I guess, the age, how long I've known them for, into perspective, into what I valued, which friendship I valued most. Um, but I don't think I've never stopped doing what I wanted to do. So my detachment from friendships were very um like, I listen to you, and then I'll like ask myself if that's really what I want to do, you know?
Mhm.
So I think my advice would be just listen to your gut, but not every people has this gut feeling. So I think it depends
Mhm.
on like listening, because you can learn a lot from the other person, from the way that they speak, from the way that they talk. I had a friend who told me, "Oh, I have nice envy for you, like this type of," and she was envious, but she was putting it in a nice way. Does
Mhm.
that even exist? I don't think that
Yeah.
exists.
No,
So,
I've had friends that literally say, like, "I was jealous of you," um,
but it's nice
all like
jealousy.
or not even just saying nice, like, but they're like, "Oh, but I learned to get over it," or like, "And now I'm
Yeah,
not doing this anymore." And I was like, "Oh, where did this come from?" And
yeah,
just like, and then like it's almost like people like if they only see the good, like they'll see the outside and then they like forget. Like you, if you tell them something bad, you tell them something good, they only see this good part, and then they like will paint you in this like, oh my gosh, like, and then there's like the jealousy there, but there's not like a realization that like, oh, I'm also going through my own struggles.
hmm,
Like it's not like sometimes it's like they're competing with the good parts, but like they're everyone is having struggles. Like you'll see some like I'll see someone that's jealous of their friend, but then I'm like that friend like they're everything's not perfect for them. Like you can't be
yeah,
there's jealousy is not going to be progressive in any way. Like it's just going to it's so toxic because
yeah,
everyone has struggles. Like there's no like when someone hears that someone's jealous of them, the first thing they think of is like I worked for this or
mhm,
this is going well, but this isn't. So I shouldn't be happy for the good things that are going on with me.
yeah.
And
Oof.
with and then with going like with you said like you have that intuition feeling with friends. I feel like I'll have like energy draining. Like I mean, I'll feel my energy is drained after being around someone that I feel like is not for me, even if everything that they were saying during the
Yeah,
hangout or when I saw them, like everything was positive. If I
yeah.
feel so like drained, like to the point
That's
where it feels
telling
like
you.
I was like sliced and then all my energy was just drained out. When it's like that potent of like energy draining, it's like pretty clear that this person, I don't know what their intentions are, but they didn't voice it obviously like physically like saying like rude things,
Mhm,
but when you just feel that, you just know that this person's not for you.
yeah. I hear that. I hear that. I remember when I was going to therapy with a psychologist, and she told me like, "Why are you still her friend?" And I was like, "But she's very nice." Like, women want to, not everyone, but unconscious women that have this sisterhood wound, they want to show themselves as the nice one, but their intentions are not from
Mm-hmm.
they don't come from a grounded place.
Mm-hmm.
So she would question me that, and she would question me, and I didn't know how to answer, because she was very nice and I liked, I guess, having friends. I've always been a person with very sociable. um but anyway, yeah.
I so can relate to that. Like, there can be two people and
Yeah.
they can say the exact same thing to me, but one of them, I'll be like, this person had bad intentions. This person is fine. They had no bad intentions. You
Yeah.
can just tell, like you said, you can literally tell from a mile away which
Yeah.
person has bad intentions. Someone can say something that's like not like it's just like on paper it sounds okay, but
Mhm.
they could piss me off a lot more than the person that says something actually like on paper that's like rude, but they didn't come from a bad place,
Yeah.
you know? And you can just tell that like does this person like they're just saying something because they just weren't either like socially aware of like what to say, what not to say. 'Cause sometimes
Mhm.
I've been told like just something like out of pocket, but I'm like, this person has no bad intentions. I'm not gonna like be
Yeah.
offended or fight this battle. Like there's no battle to fight. Like this person, they had nothing, no underlying hatred when they said it. And there's people that they're trying to say a nice comment to you, but there's like an underlying
Something.
jab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also what you said about you being drained after having a conversation or a connection with someone. I have been around with women that have the same issue. Like, they feel drained after a certain connection, after a person visits them, and they feel drained, and they don't have energy after that. And I've learned, um, to that's where the energetic boundaries come, because like I've explained this to my boyfriend, and he's like, oh, but just change the subject. But just, for example, a woman usually goes off in a subject that is very draining, because you already know the answer, you already know what to do, and that's when you almost put a stop to her and her mental, instead of journaling, she uses you or the person who she's with to dump all of this.
Mm.
So it's almost like you put in not an yes, an energetic boundary, but also letting her see things different by you just dropping a comment like, are you gonna tell me the same story that I already know,
Hmm.
or certain cues like that.
Sometimes you can tell, even like you can't even tell. Like you can literally just hear it in what they're saying. If someone's telling you something because they want pity and they want
Yeah.
like attention versus if they want a solution.
Yeah.
Like if someone is like ranting to you or a friend is ranting to you and they are not open to your solutions. You're
Yeah.
saying solutions and they're blocking them right out and it's going right over their head. There's obviously a difference between when someone really, really needs you, like
Yeah.
that quote of like when someone's drowning, this is not the time to teach them how to swim. This is the
Yeah.
time to save them. It's not like that. It's more just like in like just passing time. Like if you feel like advice that you're giving is just not being like not being received,
Yeah.
it's just draining and it just feels like what is their motives for dumping this on you?
Hmm.
Like because it's not going to feel good after a while. And I have no problem helping a friend out and giving advice and being there. But after like multiple times of them not taking any advice or
Just
like
yeah.
just it going over their head, just not appreciating the advice or even like being open-minded to it, that's the part where it's draining. And then it starts to feel like a toxic cycle of them like
Continue to
use
do the same thing.
like just kind of like pulling energy out of you.
Yeah. They're being fed, your attention is feeding their identity. So yeah, I hear you, and I think that's where energetic boundaries come in, and then that's when you either take a step back or they change.
Mhm. And I feel like the detachment in those situations is the real like is also a good test because when you're seeing a loved one or like a friend that you really love going through stuff and like they don't want your solutions, they're not open to it,
Yeah.
and they just want the pity and they just want the attention, and like it's really hard in those moments to detach
Hmm.
and to look at it as like okay, like I can't like if I'm having like a good week, I can't let this
Drain me.
drain me and take everything out of me. Like I need to be able to have like I need to be able to hold space for them, but not give where it's depleting me. Like give from my overflow and have that like a little bit of like a bubble in between where there's a little bit of detachment there.
Yeah, I love doing that. I love just like picturing myself with an armor.
Mhm.
Have you heard of that? Not an
Yeah.
armor, but like something that's protecting me.
Yeah, kind of like
And
a little force field like around you, like a
yes,
golden. I kind of do it as like a little bubble, and then I'll kind of just like push it out,
yeah. So
and I
that's
can
what
just kind
I.
of like expand my aura.
Yeah, I love that. I love doing that when I know that I'm getting into a situation where what you just explained.
It's definitely a test. Sometimes I'll know like, okay, I'm about to go into like a situation.
Yeah,
And then I'm like, okay, let me just prepare myself. And then when I'm like done that situation, I know I didn't deplete myself. I'm like, this is called the embodiment. This is the shift
exactly.
into actually doing the work. Like it's like we were saying, like we're addicted to like learning about things and having the like little awarenesses and epiphanies. And then when we actually embody it, it's a whole different experience. It does not feel good in the moment, but then afterwards you feel so much better. Like
Yeah,
it's like doing the work. Like it's like working out. Like getting going to the mat or going to the gym like doesn't feel good, but it feels good afterwards.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I love that.
Hmm. Someone wants us to say Nora. I don't know why.
Hi,
Denise
Nora. Oh,
is saying,
I just read it.
and then where are you from? I'm from Toronto.
I'm from Florida.
Hmm. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah,
I feel like we covered a lot today.
yeah. We covered a lot
Yeah, the
in
security
different subjects.
in decisions and the healthy detachment is so important. Friendships,
Hmm.
navigating and navigating friendships in an intuitive way.
Yeah,
And it doesn't
I
have like
love
your
that.
decisions don't have to make sense to everyone. Like you said, like you may talk to a friend and they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with her? She's so nice." It's not about like being nice, and it's about like how do you genuinely feel? How do you feel like in your body? Like how do you feel afterwards?
Yeah.
You know best.
Oof.
Hmm.
I love
And
that.
then that's where the trust comes in. When you can actually trust yourself, not get swayed by that person that says, "Oh, but she's so nice."
Hmm.
When you can be like, okay, well, let's listen to what you said, but then let me reassess and think, well, do I still feel good with that? Like, how do I genuinely feel? And then that's the self-trust. That's the confidence. This all brings
That's
confidence.
they're all connected. So if someone needs to work on something, they should first look at their confidence and then work on
Hmm.
start from there.
I feel so happy we did this 4-week series on confidence
I know.
because are you laughing at the comment?
Yeah.
Do you guys have apps? What? That's
Continue your
not.
thought. Continue your
Yeah.
thought. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, I'm so happy we did this series on confidence because in the beginning I was like, confidence, like, oh, like, what am I gonna talk about for 4 weeks? Like,
Yeah,
it's
same.
such an important topic, but the more deeper you get into it, I feel like I've learned so much from even talking about this for 4 weeks. I feel
Yeah.
like there's definitely a growth and development because confidence isn't something that's black and white. And it's not just like a switch that you just turn on and
No.
then like you just jump into confidence and then like oh there's because people always search up like how do you be confident and there's so many videos of like how to be confident in a
Hmm.
video, but it's not like you can't just say like how to be confident.
Hmm.
It's a whole entire embodiment. It's a process of embodiment, failing and re-embodying, failing, re-embodying. That's the whole process of like not giving up on yourself.
Yeah, I love it. It's the entire foundation on every and anything that you want to grow. If you want to grow, if you want to grow your business, you have to have confidence. You have to get up on the camera, show yourself, do the things that make you feel most afraid to compete to the 1% that's already there,
Mm-hmm.
to compete with the businesses that are already doing the thing that you want to do. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's conquering those fears, getting to know yourself. What are your desires? What are the things that really move you, and doing the things that make you afraid. Otherwise, you're just going to stay in your comfort zone and not get any success, any progress. So I also agree. I'm super excited and happy that I did this with you, and I'm looking forward to continue to have once in a month live
Mm-hmm.
with
They're
Carlene.
so fun.
Yeah.
They're even okay. I want to like touch on what you just said. The like okay, when you want to grow, you have to surround yourself with more like things that are outside your comfort zone. To get
Ooh,
out of your comfort zone, you have to have the confidence to be
yes.
secure when you're outside your comfort zone. So if you are like in a room of people that are way above you or like way
Yeah.
above you with in certain aspects, like obviously we're all like worthy, but if
Yeah.
people are having the things that you want, they're over like they've already achieved the things that you've achieved. You have to
Right.
have that confidence that you're in that room and you're not gonna feel all small. Like you're gonna be excited to be in that room, not depleted to be in that room
Exactly.
or take
You're
it
gonna
back.
learn
That's
something from them at the end of the day. So
mhm,
100% agree with you. That's what I was thinking before we started this live. That I needed to get in more rooms that I was small. I don't want to
mhm,
be in rooms that I'm looked as big because I'm not,
mhm,
or at least I don't feel like I am there yet.
mhm.
But
I
yeah,
had
that's what I was
my
thinking.
previous job was like a sales job,
Yeah,
and we had a leaderboard. So everyone was like ranked on this leaderboard. And they did this leaderboard obviously to make you feel away. They did it to
yeah,
make you feel like small, like if you're at the bottom. They want you to feel like, okay, everyone else is above me.
yeah,
But like and like I'm so proud of myself now, like seeing myself afterwards, like how I handled like being at the bottom. Sometimes I was at the top, sometimes I'd be at the bottom. Everyone was all over the place, right? We all moved around. But when I was at the bottom, I had no shame. It wasn't like I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want anyone to see my name at the bottom. Like
yeah.
I'm happy I'm at the bottom
I
because
love that.
I'm growing from this experience. I never had like sales experience, especially like the job I was in. It was a job completely outside of my like realm of my scope of knowledge, which was my scope knowledge is like health and wellness
Yeah,
and mindset. This was completely different. It was about like design, like closets and stuff. So
cool.
like just seeing that like you can embody this mindset
Yeah.
and not being intimidated and still having the confidence, even though you're at the bottom, knowing that like everyone else is doing better than you. That is like the true embodiment. So
Hmm.
I'm so proud of myself for having that embodiment and seeing it in real time, real play. Like
I love that for you.
yeah. And then being told, like, "You're at the bottom," like, having the managers be like, "You're at the bottom." And I'm just like, "Okay, I'm learning from everybody."
Exactly. Wow. It's a lot to take in. I don't
Mhm.
think as a manager I would say that, but
Yeah.
everyone has their tactics.
Yeah. No, I definitely wouldn't be acting like that, like, "Oh my gosh, my managers were a little like, away," but it's okay. I learned so much, um, and that's the confidence, the confidence embodied.
Hmm.
Am I confident in every single situation? No. That's why I'm saying it's a spectrum, and it's not like a I'm not just like I just didn't wake up one morning and I'm confident for the rest of my life. It
Hmm.
comes in waves and like it's about when you feel not confident, it's about how to identify where that came from, what's the trigger, and then work through that trigger and then embody it all over again.
Yeah, I like that. And notice, I was gonna mention the women's cycle, but let's not get into female and male or women and men. Um, I think noticing the trigger, what you just said, is gold, and it
Mhm.
can be used in every situation. If you're feeling doubt, okay, something may not be working, but detach from the result. So yeah, noticing the patterns and doing the embodiment work, I think it would help you get through a lot.
I love that you just said detach from the result,
Yeah.
because everything results, people are living for results.
Expectations.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's like the ultimate mastery, detaching from results.
Yeah.
Especially like if you've had in your childhood, this is what I've like seen is if you were only congratulated and applauded or like loved for your results, that carries into adulthood,
Mm-hmm.
and then you are only loving and like approving of yourself, happy with yourself, confident with yourself when you are also like having results.
Yeah.
Results. You're not feeling that sense of worthiness without the results.
Oh, yeah. Guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love how you just worded it, because I don't think people realize that unless they know about childhood wounds, or they know how childhood affects their adulthood and their relationships or money and every area in their life. However, um, the way that you just worded it is very good,
Hmm.
because you, at the end of the day, if you're an adult and your biggest desire is, I don't know, let's put a number, like $100,000. Once you reach that amount, you're gonna feel empty, and I don't want to say shit hits the fan, but you're gonna feel so empty because you've achieved what you thought would bring you fulfillment, and at the end of the day, that doesn't. Yes, I mean, I don't disagree that money gives you comfort. Money gives you certain physical things, but fulfillment comes from within. So,
Hmm. Because
and
then you're gonna make that much and then be in a room full of people that are making more. And then that if you don't have that security and that confidence, and all that comes crashing down again, and now again you're at the bottom.
yeah.
And you're gonna feel like, oh my gosh, now my goal is like 10 times what I'm doing now. It's
Mhm,
all relative.
mhm.
People will say, oh my gosh, you're so successful, like you're doing so much. And then you're like, no, because you're if you're in the bottom of the room, the bottom of the list in the room,
Yeah,
it's not gonna feel like that.
yeah, love that.
Then you just like detach from those results and see the reality, like step back from it.
Hmm.
But yeah, okay, I feel like we've had a long live, and I just want to thank you for coming onto my channel and doing this live with me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I loved
This
it.
is this is such a good like 4 weeks. I think it was amazing.
Yeah,
Confidence series, we have completed the 4 weeks of confidence,
yeah.
and I love it. Like if you're watching and you want to watch episode 1, 2, and 3, episode 1 and 3 are on Greta's channel. I'll link them in the description, and then episode 2 is on my channel. And episode 4, obviously, this one. So yeah. And
Thank
we're
you.
gonna be doing lives like maybe one a month. And we're gonna do kind of like the same idea. So stay tuned for those, and definitely subscribe to Greta's channel. I'm gonna link it. And yeah, that's basically the end of the live.
Oh. We'll continue
Okay.
soon. We'll let you know soon. Thank you so much.
Okay, amazing. It was amazing.